Hello, welcome back to DIS. You know who I am by now if you're listening or watching. Always adjust the camera. Imperative. Last week we talked about, for whatever reason, I didn't post one 2 weeks ago, so I had to post it last week, which was the Cleric Coffee and the Druid of the Circle, which I meant to do last week and I did. So that was a druid. This week is the fighter, Inquisitor. It looks interesting. It's about, um, you know, I feel like it's kind of a paladin or cleric twist on the fighter, which should be interesting. The circle of the village is more of a urban. It's, it's more of an urban theme with talking about sensing creatures in an area in an urban civilized place and using buildings or structures instead of plants or trees to do transport via plants or any of those spells like that. So without further ado, let's go ahead and do the Inquisitor. All right, on to the Inquisitor. The author of this, again, is not me. It is Decio Michellis Neto. I'm not entirely sure who that is. I would be very interested in hearing, talking to them. Maybe if I get enough views, I can talk to some of the authors of these. That would be fun. Anywho, on to the Inquisitor. Arise, O God, and defend your cause. Martial archetype for fighters, 5e. This is from DM's Guild. Inquisitor. Inquisitors hear the divine call to rise and fight against the evil that corrupts and destroys the innocent. Graced with divine powers, they roam the world seeking and destroying evil in whatever form it appears. Shorter introduction. Fun. Bonus Proficiency. When you choose this archetype at 3rd level, you gain proficiency in one of the following skills of your choice: History, Insight, Investigation, or Religion. Spellcasting. When you reach 3rd level, you gain the ability to cast spells. See PHBs or Player's Handbooks, Chapter 10 for the general rules of spellcasting, and Chapter 11 for the cleric spell list. Preparing and casting spells. The Inquisitor spell table shows how many spell slots you have to cast your Inquisitor spells. To cast one of your Inquisitor spells of 1st level or higher, you must expend a slot of the spell's level or higher. You regain all expended spell slots when you finish a long rest. You prepare the list of Inquisitor spells that are available for you to cast, choosing from the cleric spell list. When you do so, choose a number of spells equal to your Wisdom modifier plus half your fighter level rounded down, minimum of 1 spell. The spells must be of a level for which you have spell slots. For example, if you are a 7th level fighter, you have 4 1st level and 2 2nd level spell slots. With a wisdom of 14, your list of prepared spells can include 4 spells of 1st or 2nd level in any combination. If you prepare this 1st level spell Cure Wounds, you can cast it using a 1st or a 2nd level slot. Casting the spell doesn't remove it from your list of prepared spells. You can change your list of prepared spells when you finish a long rest. Preparing a new list of left-hand spells requires time spent in prayer and meditation, at least 1 minute per spell level for each spell on your list. Spell casting ability. Wisdom is your spell casting ability for your Inquisitor spells. The power of your spells comes from your devotion to your deity. You use your wisdom whenever a Inquisitor spell refers to your spellcasting ability. In addition, you use your wisdom modifier when setting the saving throw DC for a Inquisitor spell you cast, and when making an attack roll with one. Spell save equals 8 plus your proficiency bonus plus your wisdom modifier. And your spell attack modifier equals your proficiency bonus plus your wisdom modifier. Certainty in faith. Your faith protects you from the perverties that come from the wicked and deceitful. Starting at 7th level, when within 30 feet from an illusion, you treat it as if it has been physically inspected, as long as no harm is done to you directly by inspecting it. Divine Hunt. There is no darkness or deep shadow where the workers of iniquity may hide themselves against God's justice and punishment. Starting at 10th level, when you hit a creature with an attack, you can use your bonus action to mark it. While within 60 feet from the creature, the Inquisitor can pinpoint the target's precise location. If the target is more than 60 feet from you, you know in which direction the target is. This benefit lasts for 1 minute or until you successfully use this feature against a different target. Divine Protection. The loyalty of your God protects you in the darkest moments against the attacks of the unholy. Starting at 15th level, when an attacker that you can see hits you with an attack, you can use your reaction to expended one spell slot to reduce the damage you take from the attack is by your wisdom modifier plus 1d10 per spell slot level. Condemn Heretic. Raise your holy sword to bleed, condemn, and smite the wicked with holy fire, becoming your god's punishing hand. Starting at 18th level, you can use your action to condemn a creature for 1 minute. Your attacks deal a d8 extra radiant damage against the condemned creature. You must then finish a short or long rest to use this feature again. And your Inquisitor spell casting is looks to be a half caster, similar to the Eldritch Knight. At 2 first level at 3rd, 3 at 4th. Then at 7th you get 4 first level and 2 second. And then at 10th level you get 4, keep with 4 first, and you get 3 second. And at 13th you add 2 third level spell slots. And then at 16th you get a third level spell slot. And then at 19th level you gain a total of 1 4th level spell slot, 3 third level spell slots, 3 second level spell slots, and 4 first level spell slots, making you the Master Inquisitor of them all. Alright, so what do I think of this? Alright, let's go back to the criteria. Story and narrative. The features, if it's too weak, too powerful, does it work with a class? Is it too similar to another official subclass? Do I like it? And others that I can think of. Alright, so at 3rd level, you get a bonus proficiency, your choice of history, insight, investigation, or religion. I think that's a pretty good one. I don't think that's too powerful. With the story itself, I like it. It does seem a bit similar to a paladin or a cleric, but I don't think it's enough that it steps on their toes too much. There's no smiting unless it's from a cleric spell, because now clerics can get some smites, which is cool. And but it also can heal, and pretty cool. So you get a bonus proficiency, which is nice. You get spell casting, which is which is called a half caster here, because you get half the amount of spells and spell slots that you would get from that, say, a wizard or a sorcerer or a bard. So you get, as per a whatchamacallit, a half caster, that's the word, you get a number of spells equal your wisdom modifier and half your fighter level, rounded down. Usually that is usually the case for half casters. Eldritch Knights, it's intelligence instead of wisdom. And your spell slots are halved. So usually, like, a wizard has intelligence plus your level. So that's different. You can change it on a long rest. Looks like you can just use any cleric spells, which is cool. It would be interesting if this could be more flavor-wise, because this makes it a little more powerful than the Eldritch Knight, because first I think it's Abjuration, or I think it might be Evocation schools. So for this, it could be you have to do at first. You have to do have a certain domain to show, like, where your Inquisitorness is. That's now a word. Yes, look it up. So Wisdom is your spellcasting ability for this, which makes sense. Is kind of going with a cleric. 7th level, you can treat illusions within 30 feet of you as if it had been inspected, as long as it doesn't hurt you. Yeah, if you had, which is nice. It helps. Kind of shows that the Inquisitor is focused on the real living, and so your faith shows that you can just brush past illusions and fight the heretic. Divine Hunt. You can mark creatures when you hit them at 10th level. You can pinpoint their precise location. That means that they are no longer affected by invisibility or hiding or stealth. And if they're more than 60 feet from you, you just know the direction where they are. It lasts for a minute, or until you successfully use this feature against a different target, which is interesting. So you can only have one at a time, it looks like, which makes sense. I like that flavor, narrative-wise, that this is, you are bringing the light of your God into the shadows, and that helps you fight the heretics, fight the evil. Divine Protection at 15th level. You get, you can, as a reaction, reduce the damage you take, equal to your Wisdom modifier plus 1d10 per spell slot level. That's nice. It shows that your God is protecting you. D10, I mean, this is at 10th level, so that would be, and if your Wisdom is, or 15th level, so I don't think that's too powerful. Condemn Heretic, at 18th level, you can, for 1 minute, as you, when you condemn a creature, you can use your action, and for 1 minute, your attacks deal an extra d8 radiant damage, so kind of like the passive smite at higher levels that paladins get, but it's only against one creature, and is 1 use per short or long rest. So that's pretty powerful, but I don't think that's too powerful. Some nitpicking right now with grammar-wise. The author might not be an English speaker, seeing his name or her name, which is totally understandable. I would change it just a little bit. It said you can use your reaction to expended one spell slot. I would just do expend one spell slot to reduce the damage. And damage has 2 E's there. That's fun. Reduce the damage E. To reduce the damage, you take from the attack, which would be comma, which is equal to your wisdom modifier, and then that on. So that's for divine protection. For divine hunt, I think there was something. If the target is more, then so I would just take away the first one of the if the target is more is I need to make myself play. That was for the divine hunt. Let's see here. I think grammar-wise, the rest of it looks good. So story narrative-wise, I like it. I like how it's you're pushing your way using the light of your God to protect you. You're pushing your way into the darkness, into the evil, and just wiping them out. And I don't think it's too powerful. The only thing I think might be a little OP, a little overpowered, is that the spell casting you can take from all of the cleric spell list. It is less than the wizard spells. For wizards can learn a whole bunch. As if you're familiar with Dungeons and Dragons, you know, and clerics know less. So it makes a little more sense that they're okay, good. Just making sure it's still going because it likes to go away. So what was I saying? Oh, the wizard spells. So they can learn a lot more, and they have more to choose from. The clerics don't, and so that's a better balancing. Whereas they have a lot, they have a little. So with the Eldritch Knight, they get a little bit at first, and it's maybe less than this, maybe the same. I don't know. I'd have to check. I can let you know. Whereas, so yeah, and I look like a Lego man. So yeah, I can only think that maybe the spell casting thing is a bit much at lower levels. Although you only get a couple spells. What's nice is with a cleric, with this Inquisitor, you can with a cleric spell list, as opposed to the Eldritch Knight with the wizards, is that with clerics you learn some healing spells, and I mean you can learn some other stuff, but healing spells, whereas wizards don't. So you can become more of a support character, which I think is really helpful. Does it work with a class? I think it does. I believe I have some other Inquisitor type archetype or subclasses, like one for the rogue that I will do sometime. And I think there's an actual Inquisitor class that I will, when I get good enough, will talk about. But for the fighter, I think it makes sense. I like how they can, jeez, how they can, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, how they can push through the darkness and um, show that their devotion and their just unyielding nature to kill or destroy the evil. And they have They do have that little passive divine smite from excuse me, from paladins, but they get at 18th level instead of, I think paladins get that at 12th. I'm not sure. No, not 12th. I don't think. I think it might be like 15th or 14th or 13th or 11th or something like that. Now I'm lisping. Anywho. Alright. So here, this was my take on the Inquisitor archetype. Again, by Decio Michellis Neto. Let me see about this author. I found this from DM's Guild. It was free. Oh, he's got some other stuff. Cool. And her. I've got some. It is another pay what you want. If you really enjoyed this subclass, consider supporting him, her, them. But if you don't, that can go further. If this gains momentum, I might start up Patreon and have just some small things where if you want to give the money to me, then I will make sure to support the subclasses I do per month. That can be going later. Anywho, if I hope you enjoyed this subclass and this review. If you thought there was something I overlooked or something that you disagreed with, feel free to comment below. If you really enjoyed this review and if you enjoy my content and you thought I was insightful, feel free to give it a like if you want and share it with your friends and family, and just to show your interests. And if you wanted to subscribe and get notifications from me, that would be fun. I'm looking forward to continuing this journey with you. If you really hated it, if you thought you were if you felt annoyed by this, feel free to, again, share with your enemies, people you are annoyed with, people you just hate, you just want to kill. And hope for the best that they get annoyed by this too. It's a win-win for you, and I get more coverage. What are you gonna say? Again, go out there, start smiting, start killing the evil. Just kill them. And come back next time where I will be talking about a monk subclass, Way of the Stone Will. It is a little sneak peek. It's a bit more about it goes against the monks' mobility, and they're very kind of steady and steadfast, and use their the way of the stone, the element of stone to just start pummeling and just not get hurt, I believe. Let me see. Nice. Ooh, I'm just checking over it. I should have beforehand. Cool. Yeah. That is, I got that from Reddit. The Way of the Stone Will from Reddit. Author is Cole T. Nelson on Homebrew. So I will post the link to the Inquisitor martial archetype from DM's Guild into the video. And anything else that I have to talk about? I don't think so. This was longer. I liked it. See you on the flip side. Bye.